Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me? What's up, TW? What's up, Byron? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. What's up, Tema? Gucci, I don't know how to pronounce your name. What's up? Someone said, yo, I got a DUI. If you're trying to do Amazon Relay and you got a DUI, my suggestion is that I would start the company, bro. And I wouldn't try to be a driver. It depends on how long ago you got that DUI, I would say. If you got that DUI like past 4 or 5 years ago, then you would be okay. But if you got that DUI and it's been recent, what I would do is start your company just like me. You got to think about it. When I started my company, I never drove the box truck. So you can start this whole company, get your LLC, get your authority, and just hire you some drivers. I got a bunch of people that came through my masterclass that they never drove the truck. They don't drive. So don't think about you having to drive the truck, if that makes sense. So the insurance don't even have to be in your name. It could be in your driver's name. So don't let that stop you or that deter you, bro. A DUI can't stop. I've helped a couple people that had DUIs and they set up their system the same exact way. So don't worry about that. Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. That's what's up. All right, so y'all know how I do my lives. I don't have a script or anything like that. I just, you know what I'm saying, come off the top of the head. You guys pop up with your questions. And I go from there. Someone said, man, it's lightning bad. Yeah, it's lightning bad in Atlanta. It's storming out here. So that's what kind of took me so long to get on today, because I was debating, should I still do it? But I kind of like the lightning is kind of past a little bit. It's off in the distance. So for you guys that don't know, we are in Amazon Prime Day. So this year here, for you guys that don't know what Amazon Prime is when Amazon rates start going through the roof. I know a lot of people think it starts on day one of Prime. It doesn't work like that. So the way how Prime rates work is when people start ordering, it has a trickle down effect. So we won't start seeing Prime numbers, even though it started on, what's today? It started yesterday. We won't start seeing that trickle down of those prices go up for probably like tomorrow, and the next day we'll start seeing it go up. Because once all this freight is ordered, now they got to be delivered. So that's how that works. So with that being said, usually Prime is 2 days. This time is 4 days this week. So we're going to have probably a little bit longer Prime Day. But if you miss Prime week in July, don't worry about it. We'll get another one in October. And then after that, we got peak season in November. So if you're new to logistics, you don't have anything up and running, you can literally be up and running and catch the next peak season, if that makes sense. Someone says, I have a quote for $5.65 and 19 cents a mile with Enterprise. Should I negotiate with them, or should that rate be good to still be profitable? That rate, you still can be profitable, but I still would get them down, Lil Hug. With Enterprise, you shouldn't be paying no more. I would say about $5.25 is probably the most I would be willing to pay them. So yeah, you can definitely get them down to about $5.25 a week and around 15 cents a mile. That 19 cents a mile is too close to 20 cents. So anything over 15 cents a mile now is kind of too high, if that makes sense. So I would definitely negotiate them down, bro. Someone said, do you have anybody that fixed credit for funding? No, I don't. I don't have anybody that off the top of my head that I was working with that can help you with but funding. I did know a couple people. King Royal, if you shoot me a DM, I'll send you, I believe I still have their pages. I'll send you their pages, and then you can go from there. But just remember, I never went through them. I never got my credit repair or anything like that. That'd just be somebody that I know that was doing it that I can refer you to. So don't put my stamp on it like, I know the person personally, if that means anything. All right. So let's see. Someone says, I can hear you. All right. So yeah, y'all go ahead and drop some questions, because I ain't gonna be on here all night. So what were some of the other things? I had got a couple DMs of questions people was asking me. Let me see if I can go through those real quick while we waiting on y'all to give me some more questions. Someone said, okay, in 2025, how much is it to start a logistics company in 2025? So in 2025, how much does it cost to start a logistics company? And I still say the same thing. It should cost you under $5,000 to start your logistics company in 2025. Why do I say this? I know I have some new people on my live, some old people on my live, but your LLC costs whatever your LLC costs in your state. That's usually like $100, $200. Authority, $680. If you go through the third party that I use, it's $680 to get your authority. So pretty much that's how much it costs to get an authority. And then I paid for my insurance. Now I always tell people, if you got like a bad driving, I can say a bad driving record, but if you got like tickets or infractions and stuff like that on your driving record, instead of them wanting only 1 month down, they might want first and last. In Atlanta, I had to pay $13.75 down. But let's say worst case scenario, I had to pay $13.75 down times 2. So basically, let's say roughly like $2,700 down, right? So if you think about it, I paid Georgia LLC is $100, but I paid for a rush. So I got $200 for that. I paid $680 for my authority, so now I'm at $880. But let's just say worst case scenario, I had to pay $2,700, and then I had to pay $1,000 deposit for my rental truck. That still will put me under $5,000 to have started my logistics company. So yes, you still can start your logistics company for under $5,000. And I know I got another message: is what is the 180-day wait rule with Amazon Relay? For you guys that don't know, some of you guys know, because some of people are watching my snippet and be like, oh, you still got to wait 180 days. I have literally 1,000 videos talking about how long you have to wait to get on with Amazon. I don't think that I have to keep reiterating it, but I guess I do have new people that join my live. So yes, if you're trying to get on with Amazon Relay, as of March of 2023, they enacted a 180-day wait rule. What does that mean? That means that you have to have your LLC, you have to have your authority, and you have to have active insurance on it. You just can't get an MC and DOT and let it sit for 180 days. You have to have insurance on that, so that will start aging the authority. From day one you had insurance, that will be day one of your age. So now you have to have 180 consecutive days continuously of that insurance before you apply to Amazon Relay. Now, so that's 180 days before you can apply. Otherwise, you could do stuff like the DAT load board, but like I always tell you guys, it's not super consistent work. However, you got two options if you don't want to wait the 180 days. Find you somebody that you truly trust that has an authority that's 180 days and lease on to them. Or you can join my masterclass. For you guys that don't want to wait or don't trust somebody, you can join my masterclass. I have one masterclass this week coming up, which is July 12th. I have 3 slots left. It's $9.99 to join that class. All of my master classes come with leasing on option. So after you take the class, you will be able to lease on. So which means you don't have to wait the 180 days. We'll pair you with somebody once you get everything and get everything in compliance. We'll pair you with somebody that you can run under for the first 180 days while your authority is maturing in the background. Once your authority hit 180 days, then you apply to Amazon Relay. Now you should be a pro at Amazon Relay when you apply, when your 6 months is up. I've helped doing master classes for the last 2 years. It's very successful. Go read my reviews. And it's a good class. You're going to get information in this class that you're just not going to get nowhere else. I'm just going to be honest with you. So it's a very informative class. There's a lot of information. This ain't, you can't YouTube this, you can't chat GPT this. This is information you just ain't gonna find on the internet, if that makes sense. So with that being said, that's the 2 ways. And like I stated, I got 3 slots left. And if you can't make the Saturday class, I still do my VIP one-on-one master class, which is $12.50, and then I still do the mini class, which is $11.50. The mini class, I have like 2 or 3 people in it. So I still do those Monday through Thursday. You can just go to Box Truck Shorty and book those, to get set up. But like I stated, if you're trying to join the class, the master class, the group one, the last one is, I can say the last one, but it's this Saturday. All right, let's see what we have. Someone said you have info on Amazon Relay New Jersey. The info for Amazon Relay is the same as nationwide. So Amazon is nationwide. So it's not like if you're in New Jersey. So that is a good question. Let's say somebody said, hey, I'm in New Jersey. I want to lease on. Do I have somebody in New Jersey that you can lease on to? When you're leasing on to someone's authority, it doesn't matter where they're at. You can be in New Jersey, lease on to somebody in Atlanta. You could be in Texas, lease on to somebody in Atlanta. So where that person's at has nothing to do with you leasing on. Once you get access to Amazon, the access is nationwide. So when I log into Amazon, it's not that I can only see Atlanta loads. I can see Cali loads. I can see Texas loads. I can see New Jersey loads. I can see Florida loads. I can see the load board nationwide for Amazon. So yes, I have info on New Jersey. That's your question. All right, let's see what else we have. What up, cuz? What's up? Someone said, what's better to start? Getting my old loads off Amazon, your own loads off Amazon, or how do I get my own loads in the beginning? So once you get on with Amazon Relay, yes, you book your own loads. So all of your loads, let's say, for example, if you lease onto the class, nobody's going to book your loads for you. You'll be booking your own loads. So You are responsible for booking your own loads. You can have one truck, you can have two trucks, you can scale up. It's completely up to you. You can book loads when you want to. Let's say you don't want to work on the weekends, you don't book loads on the weekends. So it's completely like you running your own ship. It's just that you get to bypass the 180-day wait rule with Amazon Relay. When you get leased on, they do charge 10% to run under their authority, but you pretty much got free range. You can book, scale up, do what you want to do. And that is it. Someone said, what's the best markets to pick? Good question. I don't say there's a good market with Amazon Relay per se, and let me tell you why. Because Amazon is pretty straight across the board. So I'm not going to say there's a good area and then there's a bad area. The reason why I'm saying that is if you know how to book loads, if there's an Amazon fulfillment center there, then somebody's making money at that fulfillment center. The key is a lot of people, and I'm just going to break this down. This is why I usually talked about this in my masterclass, but now I'm just trying to explain to guys how to get on with Amazon Relay. So this is the thing with Amazon Relay, right? So it's not a good place or a bad place. And let me explain this to you. If you don't know how to book loads in Atlanta, you ain't gonna make no money. If you know how to book loads in Atlanta, you'll make money. The same place with anywhere. But this is the catch. This is how Amazon prey on people not knowing how to book loads. So this is what Amazon will do. And anybody that got load to the access board maybe can explain this too. Say, for example, if you was to look at the load board at 4 or 5 o'clock let's say 1 o'clock in the daytime, you just got approved for Amazon. The first thing you're going to do is go look at Amazon Relay. You get the welcome aboard email, you look. You're not going to see a lot of loads that leave out for tonight. So you'll probably see loads that leave tomorrow, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Then you might go back at like 3 o'clock. You're going to look at the load board again. You don't see a lot of loads that leave for the night. You might see a loads that pay $400, $500. Then you might go back at 6. You don't see no loads, but you see loads that leave tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. So what people do is they get into a panic and say, man, it ain't no loads coming out tonight. So guess what they go do? They go book that load for tomorrow, the next day, or the next day. So they book their loads days in advance. That's the worst mistake you can do is book loads for tomorrow today. If you just wait till later on at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night, then you will be able to see that their loads start popping on the load board for tonight. Never, ever book loads out for today. Like I always give an example in my class of a guy. He was booking loads too early in the morning for the nighttime. The load was paying 300 and something bucks in the same day. Had he waited till around 9 o'clock that night, he would have booked the load for 670 bucks. So with that being said, if you're booking loads days in advance with Amazon Relay, you might as well just hang it up. You might as well not even do Amazon Relay because Amazon don't pay for loads that leave out days in advance. What Amazon don't tell you is that every load on the load board matures. So that's the key to Amazon. Letting the load sit. Stop being rushing. Stop thinking you ain't going to catch no loads with Amazon and just wait. If you wait till the day of and book your loads, you'll be way more profitable. If you book loads days in advance, like I always tell people, that's just like driving down a sunroof and throwing $200, $300 out of the window. So never book loads days in advance. If you stick to that script, no matter where you at, you will be able to make good money. I normally don't give this information out, but I'm giving it out now to you guys that's on this live. Because I ain't gonna say I get tired of it, but people be like, man, how do you make money with Amazon? Or I don't see no loads on the load board. You can't judge the load board, the Amazon load board, like you do the DAT load board. That's the biggest mistake. It's like Apple and Android. The DAT load board, you can go look at it, and what you see is what you get. That's it. That's the load. Yeah, you might can negotiate the person up a little bit, but that's just it. The loads on the DAT load board ain't going to just keep inching up, keep inching up, keep inching up. Anytime you see that little green box around a load on Amazon, that means that load is maturing. Every single load on the load board mature. If it's 300 loads on the load board, or 300 of them will mature if you just let that load wait. If that makes sense. All right. Someone said, I messaged you earlier and responded, good look, it's $600.20 a mile. Enterprise told me, yeah, Chris, that's still a little too high. Yeah, I remember you messaging me earlier. Yeah, that's a little too high. But we'll explain in the class how to get that price down, bro. All right. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. When you asked me where is the best area. All right. It's 3 slots left for this Saturday group. Masterclass is held Zoom from 12 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's right. This class will allow you time allotted to network so the group class allows you time to network. So that's what I do like about the group class. You might meet your business partner. You might meet your accountability partner there. You might meet somebody that you can network with there. So I do like the group class. The group class will allow you to meet and talk to people when we go to lunch. And then when we get off the master class, you can network. So I do like that class. So you do learn a lot in both of them. Someone said, does it matter if I have my company name registered already before I get to you to do my authority? No, you can have so if you come into me, you can already have your LLC set up. But I'll always tell people, stop right there. If you want to join the masterclass and you want to get your LLC set up, there's no problem with that. Now, we help people that got their LLC. We help people that already started their authority. We help people that's doing trucking that might be doing the dad load boy that's tired, because like I always tell you guys, a lot of you guys will not survive. And a lot of people don't tell you this. 95% of you guys with a new authority is not going to survive the DAT load board. The DAT load board is not consistent enough to make enough money to pay for a truck, a rental, even a truck note, insurance, or even have a driver. So with the DAT load board, unless you plan on being a driver and you plan to be hustling, you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no girl, you ain't got no spouse, and you okay with actually, you know what I'm saying, going across the road and sleeping in a truck, then yeah, you might can survive, the first 90 days with the DAT load board. Most people can't. So with that being said, it's not consistent enough. Amazon is consistent, which means out of a year, there is no nights that you got to worry about not having a load. A lot of people, like I always tell people, the DAT load board is like home run hitting. You might hit a home run, a $2,000 load on Monday. You get to Texas, and now you don't have a load for 2 or 3 days. Now you book another load. You might have a load going to Chicago. You might make $1,000. That's not inconsistent work. That's like luck work. That's like playing the lotto or playing gambling. So it's not consistent. The way how to make money is consistency, scaling. And that's how you make money. Amazon is consistent. They have loads every single day, like clockwork, just like Delta. You can go look at the Delta app and say, hey, Jabbar, I want to fly to Atlanta on August 31st. And guess what? Delta going to tell you what time you can fly ahead. That's consistency. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon, the same people order the same thing. So Amazon has pretty much a route that every week we have to take loads to Charlotte. We might take loads to Maryville. We're going to take loads to every different post office every single week. Is consistent. The DAT load board is a warehouse. You order something, somebody needs some tires or something or whatever, shipped to Texas. That's not a consistent thing where they do that every single week. Now, can you get a dedicated lane with a box truck in your 90 days? Yes, you can. That's different. But if you think you're going to just go hit the DAT load and tear it up and kill it like you see other people do, that's just not going to happen. And like I always tell people, man, the name of the game is starting a business and being able to scale. Working on your business versus working in your business. There's a big difference. A lot of people confuse it. They quit their job, they get a truck, they jump in the truck, and there's no disrespect to people that want to drive, but let's say you get in a truck and you're working in a truck and you're making all your money in the truck. You should have an expiration date to get out of that truck. You should be like, you know what, in 6 months, I'm going to put somebody else in that truck and I'm going to start scaling. If you can't scale a business, I forgot who said it, if you continue to work for money, you'll be working for the rest of your life. So you have to be able to have a business where you can scale. You can get somebody, put somebody in that truck and duplicate what you're doing. Duplicate what that next person's doing. So once you scale up, like I always tell you guys this, once you get your authority, once you get that LLC, once you get that MCDOT, you only have to do that one time. Every truck, you don't have to go back and keep getting an MC and DOT for each truck. You can get one MC, one DOT, one authority, and all you got to do is stack your money. When you start making money from the first truck, instead of going and blowing it out on some BS, guess what you do? Drop it on an insurance. Put another $1,000 in your deposit. Get your second truck. You get your second truck running 7 days a week. That's the key to Amazon because it's consistent. Get you a full-time driver, part-time driver. Now you got your truck moving 7 days a week. Get you another truck. If you can scale up to 5 trucks, like I always tell people this example, just making $100 a day. $100 a day times 5 trucks is $500 a night. Like when you go to bed, you wake up, it's called passive money. You made $500. If you can run that truck for 30 days, that's $15,000. I don't know, there's a lot of cappers out there, but I wasn't making $15,000 at my job. I worked there for 16 years. I was one of the quote-unquote highest paid managers. With that being said, if I made $15,000, I probably would have never got into nothing. So sometimes your job can pay you too much where you just feel like I can't afford to lose it. Mine's didn't. So I didn't make $15,000 a month. So making $15,000 a month. Now imagine you're making this passively. You're only working an hour a day. You still have your job. Man, the sky's the limit. That's all I'm going to say. So the money in trucking is with scaling. I hate to see people get stuck in the truck. When you're working in your business, you get sick, you're not getting paid. You call off, you're not getting paid. You get hurt, you're not getting paid. You go on vacation, you're not getting paid. When I go on vacation, I've been on vacation. I've been to Disney World, I've been to Arkansas, I've been to Cancun. Just came back from New Orleans, me and my cousin, both of us on a trucking company. Guess what? We party like rock stars the whole entire weekend, but we still got a trucking company. So does that make sense? So you still make money passively while you're out of town. Look, post a truck, book all our loads, and keep it moving. Going out of town next week. Going to Mexico again. So that's the name of the game. Being able to make money while you sleep, not having to physically work for that money. So there's a difference between working on and working in your business. All right. Someone said, does it matter if you have, oh, you already answered that one already. Someone said, hey, how do you go about finding good drivers? I heard this is the hardest part about the business. Is that true? To be honest with you, Dad, or ex-dad, that's the easiest part. In my class or in my ebook, I have a job description. And you can ask anybody that took my masterclass. If you take that job description that's in my ebook, and if you don't even want to join the masterclass, the ebook is $99. Join that. It comes with all my contacts, all my resources. But if you copy and paste that and post that thing on Indeed, I guarantee you in 2 or 3 days, you'll have 30 or 40 applicants. It's just that easy. It has everything I'm looking for. It has my pay scale. It has pretty much everything. You don't have to figure anything out. So that's the difference between my services and other people's services. When you come to me, you don't have to figure out all of the extra BS, if that makes sense. So it's super easy to find a driver. Why also? Because all of my drivers for a box truck is non-CDL. So anybody that possesses a regular driver's license can operate a box truck 26,000 pounds legally. So it's not like semis. Now the semis, completely different. It's a little bit harder to find a job, but I've never had a problem finding a driver. So that's pretty easy. Someone said, always happy to see you go live. That's why I got a few months before I'm ready to get back in. I'll be taking the masterclass again, looking to lease on. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, Inside Squirrel, Judah. So yes, also, if you took my masterclass previously, and let's just say you started it, you took it in January, February, and you're like, you know what, man? I need a refresh. I'm ready to go now. Something came up, but now I'm ready to start. All you got to do is email info@boxtruckshorty.com. And if we have spaces available, we will let you take the masterclass again for $250. And you ain't got to pay the whole $1,000 all over again. You just pay $250, and if we have slots available, we will let you in that class for $250. All right. Someone said, trying to convince my dad to start with me and him. He's retired and wants to start something, but he's old fashioned though. How do I break this down to him in black and white? So what I always tell people, you're trying to break it down to some people that's old fashioned. It's kind of hard to believe because they think everything on the internet is BS or everything on the internet is a scam or everything is this. But like I always tell people, Google me, man. Just Google me, go read my reviews. And I'm not saying I have 100%. Like everybody's going to be successful to take my class. But one thing I can tell you is not one person to ever tell you that I scammed them, took their money, or didn't deliver a service that they leased on it, didn't get paid. That's one thing you can't say. So with that being said, I always recommend going to my YouTube. There's a YouTube on how to get started. Let me see if I can show you which one. This video here is a video that anytime I tell anybody wants to get into trucking, I always tell them, go watch this video. It breaks down what I do to a T. So that way your father can understand exactly kind of what I do and how I scale the company and my business mindset behind it. Is this one right here. I don't know if you can see this one. If you go to my link in my thing, it's in there. Just click on that and just watch it. It's like an hour long, but it breaks down everything I'm trying to do. I mean, everything that I've done, if that makes sense. Or you can also book a consultation with him. If he needs to speak to me directly, book a consultation. I do consultations for 30 minutes. Which is $149, and if you need me for an hour, it's $199. But with that being said, that's what I think. Someone said, need a driver. I'm in Florida. That's somebody saying they looking to be a driver. They're in Florida. Someone said, if you're interested in learning more before joining, grab the Ultimate Bundle Pack ebook for $99. Yes. So the ebook is $99. And if you previously bought my ebook and you want to join the masterclass again, it's $750 if you already bought my ebook. The ebook is normally $199. It's still on sale for $99. All right. And it comes with everything that you need. Gas card people, ELD people, like every contact that you need. Someone said, man, I got approved to run with Amazon. As soon as I got ready to book my first load, they suspended my access to the load board in my account. I have no idea what I did wrong. Wow, that's crazy, bro. It's something. It's something. We can probably figure it out. You book a consultation with me, we can run through some stuff, but I can tell you it's probably something that was done incorrectly. All right. Someone says, thanks, I have that. Oh, okay, somebody's talking back. Touch soon. All right. Someone said, if you purchase the Ultimate Bundle Pack ebook, you can join the Saturday class as a discounted rate. Someone said, looking forward. Someone said, what happens if the driver calls off last minute? How did that affect your rating? It does affect your rating. So if your driver calls off last minute and you don't have a backup driver, it will affect your rating. But in the masterclass, ask anybody that took my masterclass, I show you how to have a system and a confirmation system where this should rarely happen. Not that it's impossible to happen, but once you start scaling and you have, like if you have one truck, you should have two drivers. You got two trucks, you should have three drivers. So I show you how to have a system in place to kind of like safeguard getting a lot of rejections. Now, just in life, you're going to get a rejection here and there, but to have like a bunch of rejections, you should have something in place, and that's what we teach you in the masterclass. So everybody's going to get a rejection at some point in time. Your truck going to break down, you ain't going to have a backup driver. It's just life. But the good thing about it is this: if you get a rejection, it will affect your score, right? But the more loads you do, it'll improve your score. So just don't get people scared. I think some people get scared. They're like, man, if I get a rejection, I'm just completely gone from Amazon. It don't work like that. Like, you got to do a mess up a couple times. Amazon, this not the first time you mess up, or the first time you get a rejection, or the first time you get a late, you're not out of there. Now, if you keep messing up, they will kick your behind out of there. But at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to improve your score. Because basically with Amazon, your score is a 6 weeks window of what you're doing. So the last 6 weeks of your performance is what your score is. So if you made a boo-boo or a rejection, after 6 weeks, it'll automatically reset to 100 anyway, if that makes sense. All right? Someone said, what if you have the old ebook and the one with the dispatch information and the one without the dispatching information? It's the same thing. You still can join the class, 52 blocks. If you have the old one without that, you still can join it. We still let you in the class for the same price. All right? Someone said, what's the number one reason why people fail even after taking the program? Good question. The number one reason why people will fail, and I always talk about this in my master classes, 2 reasons. Booking loads in advance. Well, first, let me start with that. The number one reason why people fail after taking my program is they don't have the grind or the hustle. Some people are just, they like to take stuff. They like to do stuff. If you don't have grind and hustle in you, you're not going to be successful at anything. Like, somebody can show you how to flip a house. If you don't have the grind and the hustle, you're just going to be, you don't even know somebody that just never really completes stuff, or they just don't have a go-getter spirit. If you don't have a go-getter spirit, trucking ain't for you, logistics ain't for you, entrepreneur ain't for you. So with that being said, that's the number one reason. But let's just say they do have hustle and grind. The next thing I would say prevents people from being successful with Amazon Relay is booking loads days in advance. Anytime you booking loads days in advance, like I can go over this 100 times in the masterclass, 100 times in a one-on-one, and people still forget this. They'll get on the load board, start booking loads days in advance. If you are booking loads days in advance with Amazon, you will be out of business. There's no need to do that. So that's one. But I'm gonna give you the number 2 reason. The number 2 reason why most people go out of business with Amazon, or go out of business or not successful, is not, when you get to the point of managing your drivers, not having a system and not being able to manage your drivers successfully. Where in the class, we teach you this, but if you don't listen, and we show you how to manage them, we show you the app to use, we show you how to keep them in check, we show you how to, because we also have a performance management contract, so we show you all of this. But if you're not following this, that's the number one thing, right? So that's the 2 things I would say, or 3 things I would say, that stop people from being successful. And like I always tell you, man, I can give you the information all day. My master classes is not a class. It's not like you take a class, you take a test, you got to remember this. Mine is a blueprint to success. What I mean by that is, you need an LLC, this is who you go to. You need your authority, this is who you go to. You need your ELDs, you go through this person. You need gas cards, you go to this person. You need this, you need compliance, you go to this person. I have it all mapped out. When you take my master class, you don't have to figure out anything. Like I always tell you, the only thing I can't give you is the grind and the hustle. That's it. Otherwise, I have it all figured out. You ain't got it. You can just turn your brain off and just enjoy the class. All right? Someone said scaling will change. My cousin said, yeah, scaling will change your life. Scaling will change your life. It is. It is. Someone said, you pay for the rental truck? Yes, I pay for my rental trucks. Yes, I do. All right. See, like my connection is kind of bad over here because this weather is bad. Someone says, thank you. It's $1,000 per month for the lease on. No. Once you take the master class, it's $1,000, and then it's just 10% to lease on. So if you made $5,000 this month running your truck, then you would pay that person $500. You would keep $4,500. So there's no fee to lease on after you join the master class, if that makes sense. Who is hiring drivers? Somebody say that. Do you pay for the rental? Yes, I do. Yes, I pay for the rental. Because my renters, my drivers are subcontractors, so I pay for the rentals for everybody that work for me, if that makes sense. Someone said, what's the difference between the refrigerator trucks? Is more pay or less pay? With Amazon, it absolutely nothing, because all of your freight with Amazon is pretty much packaged and parcel, so it's not a reefer truck. Someone said, and do have Amazon relay for refrigerator truck? I've never seen it. So I'm not going to say they don't, but I'm saying I just never seen loads for it. Someone said, why do Amazon cancel loads so much? I'm in the Orlando area. Top notch Ronnie. The reason why in Atlanta, we rarely have loads canceled like that. The reason why I see people loads get canceled is because they're booking loads days in advance. This is why. Amazon, once again, they will throw loads up. Let's just say on Monday, Amazon throw 400 loads on a load board, right? They might not have no packages that need to be delivered on Friday, but they know somebody in this area is going to book book packages. So they will put a route up there that'll be low, right? Now, the closer to that day, if Wednesday come up and nobody has no freight that goes to that, then they will cancel that load and consolidate that load. The load might have been a 2 or 3 stop. That's when they'll cancel that load and consolidate it with another load that might have been 5 stops that's in that area. So when they cancel, they consolidate to make another load. But this usually happens when you're booking loads days in advance. If you just wait till the day of and book an expedited load. What's an expedited load? I never really talked about that. What's an expedited load? An expedited load is a load that needs to go out tonight. That means Amazon, it needs to go. So if you book a load with Amazon, just throw, like right now, it's 9:30. If Amazon threw a load on the load board at 9:30 at night, and that load needs to go out at 11 o'clock, well, guess what? They can't cancel it because they just threw it on the load board and they need the load gone. So that's the difference between booking loads at nighttime than versus booking loads too far in advance. So that's why I book all my loads in the day that it is, if that makes sense. Let me look at the load board and just see if there's any loads on the load board right now for tonight. Let's just see. The weather's crappy here, so it probably won't be a lot of. So yes, also I meant to say, if there's lightning outside, Amazon will shut down the yard. So that's one time, like right now, if there's any loads that's at the Amazon facility, being that all this lightning and raining outside, they're shutting down the yard. They're not going to let trucks on or trucks off the yard because when it's lightning, they don't let you load it up at Amazon. So as we look, let's look. If you think I'm lying, so when I tell you people, look at the load board. What is this load? The load is Wednesday. Wednesday at, there's a load on the load board for tonight. So it's only one load on the load board for tonight. But if that load sit, that load will go up. That load is, what is that? 579.98, 263.7 miles. And it goes to Gurley, Alabama. So it's only one load on the load board for tonight, right? The next load you see is on there for Thursday, Friday. So what happens is, what people, like I said, look at the load board and don't see no loads for the night, they panic and they start booking loads days in advance. So if you see 579, I wouldn't even book the load right now because it's in the next 2 hours. I'm going to try to watch this load. I guarantee this load was going to jump up because it needs to be picked up in the next 2 hours. This is how you book loads. So it's 579 right now, and somebody's going to take this load when it hits 6 something. All right, so that's how the load board works right there. Booking loads, which is expedited loads, that means they got to go tonight. So they can't cancel this load because this load got to leave out at 11:30 tonight. All right? So, and they're trying to play chicken right now. So I'm going to try to watch it a little bit to see if it jumps up real quick so I can show you guys during the live. All right? Let's see. Someone said, I've been doing postal trucks. Makes sense. Yes, so postal truck does make sense. Someone said, when you do a rental truck, how do you pay them? When you rent the truck, how do you pay them? So I have a pay scale that I pay my drivers on. I don't pay them hourly, and I don't pay them percentage-wise. So I have a pay scale that I use that's in my ebook that I use to pay them. It's a flat pay scale. So say, so how many hours or minutes before loads you start looking? I start looking around this time. So I would say your time zone, start looking about 9 o'clock, but usually around 10 o'clock, you'll see better paying loads. The later it gets, the better the loads pay. So that's why I'm trying to watch this load right here. Let me put this on 15-second refresh real quick. So let's see if I can catch this load jumping up real quick. All right. Someone says, when you rent the trucks, I already answered that question. Someone said, when I estimated daily costs, it seems likely like all in daily costs is $300 to $400 a day. Gas, insurance, drivers, and rental. Does this sound correct? If so, is it normal to find a load paying $500? Yeah. So yes. So that's about right. So if your daily operating cost is about I was on a consultation yesterday with a guy. His was, I think, $295 was his operating cost, and he was in Cali, but he was driving the trucks. So if you're driving the trucks, $350 still seems a kind of high if you're driving the trucks. I don't know what you're paying for your insurance and stuff like that, but we can crunch numbers and I can show you how to actually do that. That'll make sense. That's how I do mine. My daily operating costs. And does it make sense to make a load for $500? Yeah. So see, look, $500 loads on the load board. So with that being said, yes, you will make money, but you still should be able to get that if you're the one driving, that seems a little bit high at $400, because mine is like $400. A little close to $400, and I have a driver in my truck. All right. What's up, fam? How you doing? All right. Someone said, are you paying attention to the miles or to just the amount of the money of the load? So I pay attention to the last stop, the miles, but also the last stop. I'm going to give you guys another little hint, another little tip. I covered my masterclass. So y'all kind of getting like a secret sauce in my masterclass. This is the thing with Amazon. I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I first started doing Amazon Relay, the first year, I used to listen to all of the nonsense that people say on YouTube too, because I was new. I was novice, so I was learning. I had a guy that showed me, but he had just started a couple months, so I kind of branched off. So when I was doing loads, right, if anybody's been doing loads like me, I've been doing loads for 4.5 years with Amazon. When we first started doing Amazon loads, guess what? They didn't have like the last stop on there, and they didn't have a map. In order to get to the map, you would have to scroll down all the way down to the bottom of the screen once you open up the load, and it had a little funny icon where people didn't even know what it was. So I was clicking on stuff, then a map would pull up. But nobody knew what that really meant. And I didn't know what it meant because I was just new to trucking. So this is the key to Amazon. I used to listen to knuckleheads say, oh man, don't do Amazon. Amazon, see, look, real quick. See how the loads jumped up? The 592? See, it's jumping up. See, y'all think I'm lying. See, the load is green. It was just 570 something a second ago when I first showed you. But you see that green bar around it? That means that this load is maturing. Y'all saw it live and on the class. That's 592 right now. It leaves out at 2330. Now watch. We're going to keep this load here and we're going to see. Like I said, this load's going to probably go up to 600 and something bucks. Then that's if somebody will book it. Let me screenshot it so I can. So you see that? 592 is in Atlanta. Leaves out at 11:30 tonight. Now we're going to keep watching it because that's what I said. So see, look, see the greens? Let me see if y'all can see. So you see that green? So let's just keep scrolling. See if I see any more greens on it. See? That's what I mean when a load is maturing. So every load on the load board eventually matures. So I'm glad I was able to see this live in class. So it's at 592 now. We're going to sit, and I know I got sidetracked, but I'm trying to see when this load get up to $600, somebody probably going to snatch it. All right? Or if it goes up to 6 real quick, somebody going to snag it, and I ain't going to see it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I used to listen to people tell me that, hey, you know, don't do Amazon Relay because Amazon Relay, when you do a load, you got a one-way. You got to always come back empty. You got to come back empty. That's true to an extent. All right? But this is what you got to look at. When I try, don't look at the miles so much because the miles don't mean that. Like, for example, I did a load in Atlanta. It said 438 miles. When I first started a year ago, I would never touch a load that had 438 miles. But this is the thing. When you're doing Amazon Relay, Amazon is not like the DAT load board. Amazon has multiple stops. So in theory, it doesn't matter how many miles a load have. You're only deadheading back from your last stop. Like I did a load in Atlanta. I wish I could have screenshot it. But it was 438 miles. It left Atlanta. It went to Montgomery. It went to some other part in Alabama. I can't think about the top of my head. And then it went back to Atlanta. So the 438 miles started in Atlanta, went to Montgomery, went to another part in Alabama, and deadheading back in Atlanta. So what you have to do is your deadheading is only mattering where you're deadheading from. So that's it. You can have a load we have a load in Atlanta that might got 238 miles, but y'all saw me where it dead ends back in Jefferson, Georgia. Let me show you real quick if I can kind of find that load where I'm trying to show you. Let's see. I don't want to miss this load on here when it jumps up too. So I don't want to play around too much with it. I'm going to unfreeze it, but let me see if I can find a load. See, look, this is what it looks like when a new load hit the load board. You see that big green bar? That's a new load hitting the load board right there. $303.70 a mile, and that load is That's not bad. 134 miles. So that's basically, look, $3.70 a mile for 134 miles. Basically a $500 load. That's not bad. Let me freeze this real quick. So let me find a load what I'm trying to explain to what I'm trying to say. And the last stop in this load is, let's see, that's Woodland. Okay, so look at this load right here. All right, so look at this load with the green bar on it, right? Can y'all see it a little bit? I know if you can't really see it, I'll explain it to you. But if the one with the green bar, it is, at least Friday, it's 233.9 miles. It paid $475. See, it's maturing. I would never take this load right now. But let's just say closer to Friday. If this load went up to 550, 590, 600 bucks, would I take it? Yes. Let me tell you why. Because the last stop is, even though it's 233.9 miles. So look, look at the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last stop is, look where the last stop is at. The last stop is in Jefferson, Georgia. So it doesn't matter how many miles you've had. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 is farther out. But when you get to Jefferson, Georgia, that's where you're deadheading from. So on this load, guess what I would do? So you see Jefferson, Georgia? Look, so you think I'm lying. So look. 1, 2, 3. And you see the 5 is closest to home. So it only matters where you're deadheading from. So what I would do is I would go to maps. I will put in, for you guys that don't know about Atlanta, I will put in Jefferson, Georgia. Look how far Jefferson, Georgia is from Atlanta. Only 49 miles. That's nothing. That's 15 bucks in fuel to get back home. So they're going to already pay me in this freight. Let me see. I can't pull it back up. Let's see. They're going to already pay me $72 in the fuel surcharge. So that's basically 73 bucks, 15 bucks to get back home. That's like 90 bucks in fuel for a round trip. So that's what I'm trying to say. You only deadhead back from your last stop. You're not deadheading 238 miles. So that's what the knuckleheads used to make me think. Like, oh man, if you take this load and it's 233 miles, when you get to your last stop, you're not 233 miles away from Atlanta. You're only 49 miles away from Atlanta. So you got to learn to read the load board. I just gave you guys some juice, some sauce that I only give out in my masterclass. So I've never really, said that publicly, but that's basically in a nutshell how you book loads. And then there's another way where you can even get it even better. Join the masterclass. We show you how to do that. But that's right there is some free game for you guys. So I don't really worry about the miles. Like some guys, some divas on there be like, well, I don't move my truck for $3, $4 a mile. And that's why they out of business. You can't look at that $3 a mile. I don't crank my truck for $4. Well, you're gonna be living in that truck. So here you go. Look, another new load popped up on the load board. You see that? This is the time of the night you want to book loads. This is when you go fishing. You don't fish on high tide. You fish when the fish is coming out. So that's what it is. And guess what? This load leaves tonight. So this load is going to keep jumping up. So I just gave you guys a little free mini masterclass right here. So if you want more of this, like I stated, we got 3 slots left for the masterclass that's coming up this Saturday. So join that masterclass, man. I'm telling you, you ain't going to this YouTube university to this. All right? Let's see. All right, but that was a good question right there. I'm still trying to see if this logo gonna pop up or get any higher. Still at 592. They still playing chicken. Someone say, how much dispatch and communication do you need to do with your driver daily in a corporate America is so I can't respond while I'm in the office? So good thing about this, I started my company. I worked a whole entire year, right? I was running my company. You know why? If you in a corporate America and you get up at 5 or 6, it's fine because there's no communication that I have with my drivers from the time I had to be to work in the morning till about 7 o'clock when they loads with. If I did a postal truck and they loads hit about 6 or 7, then they would give me, confirmation that they received that load. But usually all my communication with my drivers start around this time at nighttime. So you can work a 9 to 5 and still run this whole trucking company. Y'all always hear me talk about my cousin Jason when I was in the Essence Fest with Box Truck Wiz. He's been 22 years. He worked for the federal government. He still has his 9 to 5. You see what I'm saying? And he works. He fly all over the country, fly all over the world. But he still has his He still started a company, and he's still even doing it for. I've been doing it for 4. He's been doing it for 3 years. So with that being said, yes, you can have a 9 to 5. It does not interfere. It's not like in the middle of the day you're going to be doing anything. Because remember, I told you in the middle of the day, it ain't no loads in the load bar for nighttime. You see, these loads are popping up at nighttime. So that's why I tell people, never look for loads in the middle of the day. You're going to depress yourself. You're going to stress yourself out. Look for loads this time of night. All right? Someone said, are you paying attention? Oh, this man says, so I can keep my day job and drive trucks at night if the loads are at night. I don't know if you can keep your day job, Brian Helly, and drive at night because when you're going to rest. But if you're doing some short loads, I can see that probably happen. And it depends on what kind of job you have. Someone said Amazon. Remember, Amazon is not a logistics company. They are as a data management company and a third-party shipper. That way you feel to avoid lawsuits and buying trucks, etc. Exactly. Someone said it's a glare on your screen. Oh, how much do you pay for fuel monthly? I don't do monthly. I do, if you look at it, I do it weekly. So I break my fuel down to weekly. So I don't look at it as a monthly expense. Someone said I'm about to purchase, and you keep looking. I'm trying to see if this logo gonna pop up from $5.92. So look, it's still sitting. $5.92. We're gonna see when if it pop up real quick, what it's gonna jump up to. Someone said, I'm about to purchase a truck for $25K. Does it make sense? You want my honest opinion? If you're going to purchase a truck for $25K and you don't have another 15 to 10 set aside for repairs and maintenance, I would not do it. I would not. I just would not do it. I would start off renting a truck because if you rent a truck, everything is the same. You got to get an LLC. You got to get an authority. Rent the truck. And if you like it, you can scale a lot quicker with rentals. Then if you stack up enough money, then go buy a truck. It was a guy, I don't know if it was today we did the Masterclass or yesterday, but he said he was going to buy a truck. And he knew the people he was going to buy a truck. Then he came across me and he said, you know what, I'm just going to rent. So he knew the person that purchased the truck. And he said, literally, that truck has been down since that guy purchased that truck. And he said, man, thank you, God, that he didn't purchase that truck because that truck had nothing but problems. So a $25,000 truck is a reason why the truck is $25,000. So I wouldn't do it, to be honest with you. But, I mean, to each his own. Someone said, I have a driver with 10 years experience as an Amazon driver. That's what's up. That means that person's pretty good at it. Someone said, I'm in Kentucky. What market should I target and focus on? I would start where I'm at, to be honest with you. But if you don't, you can put your truck anywhere you want to. If you just started this live, you can go back and look at what I said. There's no bad markets. You just got to know how to book loads and when to book loads. Don't book loads days in advance. Use your poster truck. If your poster truck don't hit, then you come look at the spot load board. That's how I do my loads. So there's no really bad place. That's kind of like, I hate to be like superficial, but if you think about it, like the guy just said, Amazon's data. So if a Gucci store is in a mall, then they already did the research, market analysis to understand that a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton store can sustain and sit in this mall. So it's the same thing. You don't see Chick-fil-A's everywhere. Where if they put a Chick-fil-A somewhere, you best believe, have you ever seen a Chick-fil-A and it didn't have a line around the corner? It just don't happen. Chick-fil-A does a lot of research. Same thing with Amazon. If Amazon put a fulfillment center there, guess what? They're going to have people moving their freight. So when people tell you, man, Amazon ain't paying, it's funny to me because I've been doing it for 4.5 years and made millions with Amazon Relay. Not net, but gross. So with that being said, if you know how to hunt, you know how to fish, you know how to get money. So that's the same thing with Amazon Relay. There's going to be people that's successful with Amazon. There's going to be people unsuccessful. There's going to be people who are successful with that. Every business, they're going to be successful and unsuccessful. They're going to be unsuccessful doctors, lawyers, attorneys, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, there's not a 100% success rate in any industry. But if you have the information, you got a greater chance of being successful. Come on, I want to see this load jump up real quick so I can catch it. But I always tell people this. In life, it's 2 things you're going to pay. You're either going to pay in the beginning or you're going to pay for the mistake in the end. And I can guarantee you the mistake in the end costs you a lot more than the pain in the beginning. Someone said, turn the brightness down or the brightness on the thing. Oh, you can see it? Oh, there you go. So this is it with YouTube because I'm on YouTube, guys, and Instagram at the same time. So if y'all see, this is YouTube. So y'all can see it. So that green box around it, that's what it looks like when the load is maturing. The big green box is a new load. Green box. So there you go. All right. Someone says, $25K is too much for a truck. A starter truck should be 10 to 15, about 10 set aside for repairs, and we can, yep, that's pretty much just what I said. All right. Someone said, I'm ready. Well, let's go. We got 3 slots left. Someone said, I'll be grabbing a one-on-one masterclass tomorrow. That's what's up. Let's go. Let's go. So I do the masterclasses Monday through Thursday. If you guys can't make the big masterclass, I do the Monday through Thursday masterclass. I got a VIP one-on-one, which is $12.50. Then I have the VIP mini, which is usually 2 or 3 people in the class, which is $11.50. So it's a little bit cheaper, but you get to learn off other people. So I do enjoy when other people are in the class, because somebody might be asking a question that you never even thought of. So that's why I do like group settings a little better than just the one-on-ones. But the one-on-one is still good too, because you get all the information you need in there as a thing. Someone said, I saw you said in an old video you mainly utilize the poster truck feature. Are you doing both for the load boards and poster trucks now? Yes. So I do the poster trucks. So all my loads are booked for the night. But what I do is I do the poster truck to see in the mornings if I can get a load. If the poster truck hit, good. If it doesn't, then this is the time you want to come looking at the load board. What people, like I said, make the mistake is they look for loads in the middle of the day. That's crazy. Don't do that. Or they book loads days in advance. Don't do that. That's crazy. All right? You want to wait till nighttime to book your loads. All right? Let's see if that load popped up again. See another load. Look, that's a high rate per mile too. Oh man, it done refreshed out. So this one is, what is the rate per mile? $3.64 a mile, only at 134 miles. That's a pretty good rate per mile. But I don't get hooked up on that rate per mile like a lot of other people do. All right? Someone said, I like your honesty and geniusness. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very transparent, man. I'm a transparent person. I'm going to tell you the real. I give out a lot. Like, there's a lot of people that's on YouTube or a lot of people that's on social media that talk, buy, but they never give you no information. I get on here. If I used to do it every week, but I got a lot busier now, I come on here at least twice a month now and just give back for you guys. Some of you guys started your company. I hear people like, man, I started my whole company by just watching your videos on YouTube. I got into this because of you. And that's like my blessing comes back for that, because I love to help people. So I give you guys free game. You ain't have to pay for this. I'm giving you free game on how to book loads, how to find loads, and all of that without getting a dime for you guys. I spit on this this live for like an hour. So I get my blessings back, if that makes sense. Someone said, what's the highest mile you would take? Don, what do you mean by the highest mile? You got to rephrase that question for me, please, bro. Someone said, no more juice. They need to book the class. Tim said, no more juice. Hey, I'm giving out the game, man. I'm giving out the game. I felt like in a good mood today. So like I tell you, because I'm giving you guys information that I only give to my students, man, in my masterclass. But that's why I laugh at people when they say, man, ain't no money with Amazon. Like, okay, you don't know how to make money with Amazon. I have mastered Amazon. Like, I know Amazon like the back of my hand. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. It's consistent. It changed my life, man. It allows me to travel, allows me to buy and do everything I want. And I know everything ain't about money, man, but if you have my life and all the struggles and losing your mom and being in the best, being in a car wreck, a fatal car wreck, and look. See? It's going up more. 604. Classic example. Y'all think I'm lying. You see? Same load. Live on YouTube. 604. I'm gonna give you guys YouTube. See, look. That load is going up to 604.97. It started at 570. It went up to 592, I believe. Now, let me see what it go up to, because y'all like to quote me. Let's see what I screenshotted it when it was. It was 592.30. I screenshot it. So it was 592.30, and now it is at 604.97. So I don't know how long it's going to keep to go up, because we might not be on this live when it's go out, because I usually do my lives for an hour. I'm going to stay on a couple more minutes. But look, you saw right there in a live in the class where the load matures. Like I told y'all, do not book loads days in advance. Book all of your loads expedited at night. That means they can't cancel this load. They need this load gone. So they're going to play chicken and see how high this load can go, and somebody's going to book it. So now we from 572 to 590 something to 604. This load's gonna keep going up. They're gonna make them pay for it. So that's how I book loads. There you go. Y'all got the sauce right there. All right. But like I stated, man, I ain't gonna say I had a bad life, but I had a lot happen in my life. And just, some people know I speak about it, but I don't speak about it a lot. But I was married before. Me and my ex-wife, best friends. If y'all see her, tell her I said hi. Like, for real, we super cool now. But when I went to a divorce, we wasn't getting along at one point. And divorce, I got real nasty. So I ended up spending $50,000 on my divorce. I literally was homeless in 2019. Yeah, 2019. Which you don't have me talk about it a lot because I'm like, I don't need no sympathy. But for me to be able to bounce back from that, man, and like my divorce maxed me out. I maxed out on my credit cards, all of that mess. And for me to still be here today and be able to pay all of that stuff off and be retired from my job, like literally like 2 years after my divorce, man, I'm my own cheerleader. So God is good. That's all I'm going to say. God is good. So, yep. Someone says, I'm in New Jersey right now. You think I should set up my LLC in New York, being that they got better rates? No. So, no, do not set it up in New York. New York insurance is sky high. So people that's in New York trying to get to New Jersey so they can get the insurance cheaper and everything cheaper. So this is the thing, Chase. Even though you're in New York, you're in New Jersey, you can book loads anywhere you want to. Your LLC has nothing to do with actually where you can book loads at. So if you're in New Jersey and you're in New York and you can set it up in New Jersey, you can still book loads in New York. You can still book loads in Connecticut. You can literally book loads in Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? Like, let me show you what I'm saying. Like, look, I'm trying to watch this load. I don't want to miss this load. But let me show you real quick. Hopefully nobody book it. So look, I can go here. I can put in Chicago. All right, let's see. Hold on. 50 box truck. So boom, look, I put in Chicago. So now it's going to pop up with all the Chicago loads. So you see, was that Shanahan or Shanahan? Don't give me the line. I don't know how to pronounce it. But that's Chicago. So this is the Chicago load board. If I want to put in New York, I can put in New York. And literally at the drop of a dime, I can see loads that's in New York. So it doesn't matter where your LLC is at. It doesn't matter where your company is set up at. You can literally, you have nation. God damn, New York is crazy. Look at this, $862, $446. God damn, that's crazy. So y'all see, I got a screenshot that. That's live. So there's a load in New York is $862, $4.46, and it's 193 miles. So yes, you can see loads anywhere you want. So look, there you go. Look at that. That's a load in New York, upstate New York. There you go, YouTube. $862.07, $4.44 a mile. Only 193 miles, $700, $700. Yeah, so y'all market is pretty good. Better than Atlanta market. So, but yes, with that being said, man, you can see loads anywhere you want nationwide. Okay? So y'all just seeing it. So it doesn't matter where you at. You could be in New Jersey, lease on to somebody in Atlanta. You could be in Atlanta, lease on to somebody in Texas. So the leasing on has nothing to do with where you're at. Okay? So I was trying to wait. I know we were 3 minutes over. I did start a little late. So I'm going to give it like a couple more minutes, answer a couple more questions. But I'm still watching this load on here at 6:04. We're going to see how much it go up to. I might just have to screenshot it and post it in my stories. All right? Okay. Someone said, I saw a dude on live talking about Amazon Relay. Everything was good till he started talking about having drivers and it was not working. He was adamant about it. He pissed me off and I left because he don't know how to manage his drivers, man. I'm telling you, I know how to manage my drivers, and I'm not gonna lie. If you don't have a system in place, somebody took that load. It jumped up real quick to 650 and somebody took it before I can even pull the phone up. Look, it's gone. That's crazy. So, but anyway, yeah, if you don't know how to manage your drivers, man, you will be out of business. But I show you how to manage your business. I have a performance management contract that we share with the people in the class. So like I said, you don't have to figure out anything. Anything in life is this. You got to think about it. If you don't want to scale up, you can't drive but one truck for so long. So if you want to scale up, you have to be able to take a risk. And let me tell you another secret sauce. Think about this. If you have 5 trucks running and I get 1 rejection, it might not affect my score as if one person got 1 truck and get 1 rejection, because that rejection is an average of how many loads I'm doing per week. So one person might have 1 truck, they might have 100, they get 1 rejection, they load might drop to 60 something. I have 5 trucks, I get 1 rejection, my score might drop to a 92. So the more trucks you have, the less lates and rejections affect your account. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Someone says, yeah, I met Jabbar face to face. The same man you see on YouTube is the same man you meet face to face. That's what's up, Judah. That is what's up. That is what's up. Thank you, thank you. So I see now on YouTube, someone said you have to manage your drivers and treat them respectfully. That kills it for many. Yeah, if you can't go in there talking about I'm the boss, I'm this, I'm that. Drivers don't like that. So you got to go in there treating your boss. Like when I hire my drivers up front, I let them know, look at this. Yeah, I own the company, but at the end of the day, I look at it like this. If you do right by me, I'm going to do right by you. Most of your drivers that's going to come and work for you, they already probably heard of me or they heard of Amazon. They know how much money can be made. So they're going to come and work for you so they can stack up enough money and start their own business. Like I always tell my drivers, you shouldn't work for me more than 6 months to a year. You should start your own. I encourage it. I think like everybody that want to be a boss should be a boss. Now you got some people that's just not good at business. They don't want to be a boss. That's fine. But all my drivers, I treat them with respect. I teach them. And when they leave, they go start their own company. And then we network. So Amazon got more money than pretty much all the companies. So there's no need to fight this ain't a business where, man, I'm not going to turn this person on because it's competition. It can't be enough. Amazon is huge. It is the largest final mile distributor in the United States by far. So it ain't no competition. So just treat your drivers with respect and then you'll have a good thing. I know you said 5K to start up, but if we're going down your route with the driver right off the bat, how much is the startup cost? Need to calculate the 2-day driver training, flight, hotel. Now, if you talk about stuff outside of that, like my class, flights, 2 days, the 2-day is pretty much $350 if you do the end day. So I do have a 2-day facility. Let's say you guys that just want to start your business and be completely hands-off. You can send your driver to Atlanta. We do a 2-day facility training, which you or your driver will come and learn everything at the facility. But then when my trainer leaves, your driver will go back to his hotel. That's $350. Whatever night you book is that night plus the consecutive next night. So if you did a 2-day ride along, it used to be the 3-day, but we condensed it to 2 days because nobody was doing the 3 days. So the 2-day ride along, you will learn everything at the facility, and then you will go along with my trainer over the road to drop the freight off. Because most people want to see what happens at the post office. They want to see the docks. They want to see some have pods, some have lock boxes. So that is $400. So if you do that plus a hotel, your hotel usually is around the Atlanta airport. And then when you book the class, we do send you a list of hotels where most people stay at. So if you look at the Masterclass, you look at the training, and plus 5K. So if you add that, you're looking at probably about 7K, including the stuff that you would, the Masterclass and the 2-day. Because I don't know how much your hotel is. So I hope that makes sense. So $1,000 for the Masterclass, $400 for the training plus hotel. Let's just say you did a 2-day or 3 days. The $300, so $1,700 on top of what I said. So $6,700. Someone said, how do I find good drivers and what should I tell them about my business before they start and get prepared? Get them trained. That's the most important thing. Get them trained. Let them know they're going to be doing Amazon relay. Majority of the people do nighttime loads with Amazon. There is daytime loads. In Atlanta, we don't do it because the traffic is crazy. But just let them know that they're going to just get them trained up. I think that's the most important thing to do is get them properly trained. The number one people fail by sending them to the facility without being trained, and they're going to bomb. Just like the guy, I don't know if he's on my live, but he was like, man, Jabbar, I don't see how nobody can survive going to that Amazon spot without being trained. And I told him that's where most people mess up their account at, because they just show up to Amazon thinking that Amazon is going to show you what to do, and they're not. They're just not. Someone say, you grew up in Beaufort. I was stationed in Paris Island and lived in Port Royal off January. But that's right. I grew up in Beaufort. That's crazy. Yeah, I went to Beaufort High right there. I used to go to Paris Island all the time. We used to go back before all of this September 11th stuff. We used to go to Paris Island and play basketball, lift weights, hang out with the Marines. My brother-in-law was a drill instructor, so I would go there and see them, battle with the Q-tip stuff. So yeah, that's crazy. Some say the DAT load board has lots of Amazon loads and the price is much higher than the relay board. So you got to be careful with that DAT load board, and you see those loads on it for Amazon. So what some carriers are doing is brokers will go take an Amazon load, book it, and then put it on there at the Amazon. On the DAT load board, but it's not really a good look. So look, another load jumping up. You see that? That's the other load. See that load jumped up to 600. That load leaves tonight at midnight. Now watch. When that load hits about 650, somebody gonna take it. All right. So we'll get a couple more questions and I'm going to get out of here. Someone says, God going to bless you. Keep teaching. Thank you. I'm already blessed, but thank you. I understand exactly what you're saying. So I look up and someone said, I look up to see some truck sales. Y'all both stick to the core. You renting route. I'm buying, owning the truck. Okay, that's what's up. Someone said, there's a 26 people blessing you today. Thanks for the information, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Someone said, do we only pay attention to the mileage from the last stop at home? Yes. So, because remember, Amazon is paying you in every load that you book a fuel surcharge. So it only matters, deadheaded only matters when you're not getting paid to come back home or you're not getting paid no more. So once you get to your last stop, that's the only thing that really matters. How long it takes for you to get back home. That's the deadhead miles you want to calculate to be able to get back home. So, well, I won't take. So, but is there mileage for a load you won't take? Say you won't take a load with mileage over. No, I don't work off the mileage. Like, let me give you an example. Let's see. Let me tell you why I don't work off. You know, you guys say, I don't run my truck under $3, $4. That means absolutely nothing. Because look at this load right here. This load, it pays $1.80 to a mile, right? $1.80 to a mile. That means Amazon is paying me $102. If I was to book this load, $102. And fuel surcharge, right? Let's say this last stop, I'm not saying, let's just say this last stop was 50 miles away. I can burn $15 in fuel to get home. It doesn't matter what the rate per mile is, because as long as I'm getting paid the whole entire trip or majority of the trip, that's all that matters. And like I was telling you, I had a load that was in Atlanta. It was 438 miles. It left Atlanta, went to Montgomery, went to, I forgot what part of Alabama, then went back. The rate per mile don't matter if the load is paying 600 and something bucks, because I'm getting paid the whole entire trip. Because, let me break this down to you. Let me just simplify it, all right? Think about this. And don't quote me for my math, because I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Let's say a load left Atlanta, right? And it was a one-stop load. And that load was, let's just say, 200 miles one way. So it was left Atlanta, it was $600, and it was 200 miles. So the load paid $600, right? So if you drive there all the way and you drop that load off 200 miles away, but you got a deadhead back 200 miles. So to go 200 miles, you're probably going to burn $60 to get there and about $60 to get back. So that load is probably going to take you about $120 in fuel, right? So in theory, let's just say that load paid 200. Let me get, because I know y'all I'm trying to think. So let me see something real quick. So hold on. So think about it. So let's just say for 200 miles is it's $600. So whatever the load pays, right? Let's say it was $3 a mile. If you think about it, if you drop off 200 miles away, you have to come back the whole 200 miles empty. And really, in theory, that load is only paying half of what you see it paying, because you have to deadhead back home. So it's the same difference as a load that's paying $600, but you driving out 150 miles, 150 miles, and then driving back. So the rate per mile will be lower because you're getting paid the whole entire trip, versus a load that goes out farther. The rate per mile is higher, but you got to deadhead back home farther. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because I understand what I'm saying, but I hope that makes sense, if that makes sense. All right. Someone said, what's the MC is for you to go everywhere? Yes, the MC is for you to go everywhere. All right. So I've been over here an hour and 13, a little over an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm about to get off here. I know there's a lot more questions that I didn't get to book up thing. So what that means in a nutshell is, like I stated, I got 3 more classes for this Saturday coming up. If you want to join the Masterclass, it's $9.99. If you already bought my ebook, it's $7.50. If you want to take the VIP Masterclass, you can book it Monday through Thursday. Go to boxtruckshorty.com. If you just want to get into the game, you don't want to start right now, grab my ebook. It's $99. Like I stated, I have nothing for you to figure out. I show you everything. I'm transparent. I show you how to book loads, how to hire drivers, how to scale, everything. You don't have to figure out anything when you come to my Masterclass. It ain't no fluff. It ain't no BS. Go read my reviews. I got hundreds of reviews in my highlights. If you want to go through my page, go to my highlights. Reviews, hundreds of them from my Masterclass. So with that being said, I'm about to get out of here, and I hope to see you guys at the top. I hope you guys enjoyed the class tonight, because I got a little glimpse of the Masterclass. All right? So take care.